What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Corey back in another video, bro. Today, I wanted to talk about how to have proactive versus reactive conversations. And this is something very nuanced that I had thought about recently because this is something I used to do all the time. What I mean by reactive and proactive is that a reactive conversation is when... What the heck? Sorry for the noise in the background, by the way. I'm outside. I like the scenery out here better. But a reactive conversation is when you're just reacting to the other person. You're not actually contributing to the conversation. You're just like, oh yeah, really? Oh, cool, nice. That's what's up. That's crazy. You know, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a reactive conversation. And proactive is the opposite, to where you're telling stories, you're cracking jokes, like you're actively involved in the conversation, going back and forth. And the reactive one is what I used to do all the time, bro. And I picked up on this like in the moment, but especially when I'm out of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I've got to the point now where I just talk normally and I give my inputs in conversations. That wasn't always the norm for me. You know, I used to just be reactive. And the reason is because, like, thinking back, it was just because I didn't know what to say. That's what I would tell myself anyway. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, why do people keep talking to me? I don't even know what to say. Like, I would get mad if people would talk to me because I didn't know what to say. And it would put me in a weird spot because now I'm sitting here trying to act like I'm paying attention. I'm trying to act like I care what you're saying and all that. And I'm trying to act like I'm here with you, but I'm really not. I was in my head too much. That's really it. I want to talk about some ways to go from the reactive talker to the proactive talker. Basically non-contributing to contributing. So first off, you have to have self-respect. Okay, like straight up. Like, you have to believe that the things that you say are worth saying. You have to believe that the things that you have to say are valuable. And the way you do that is you get more information on the things you have to say. This is why I recommend journaling and stuff, because it helps you formulate your thoughts a lot easier, and it helps you get your thoughts out and completed instead of just having little half thoughts and half theories all around the place. Get that theory to where you really understand it and you really understand why you feel that way, and you have, you know, research to back it up, and you have statistics and stuff in your mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you really do your due diligence on the stuff, then you would have the confidence to speak up about it, you know, if that topic comes up in a conversation. And so it's respecting the things that you say, right, first, and then it's respecting yourself. So you have to have the confidence to even speak. That's another part of it. Having the confidence to speak is taking care of yourself, make sure you look at least hygienic, at least decent. Because I'm not an advocate for just looking all pretty and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care about that, especially as a man. But as long as you're taking care of yourself, you go into the gym, you take your showers, you know what I'm saying? You brush your teeth, wash your face, you know, simple shit like that. As long as you do that, like, you should feel good enough to speak and to speak your mind. If you do that consistently, that'll develop it. That'll develop your self-value for sure. Because no one else cares about that type of stuff except you. Like, it only benefits you. When you do things that only benefit you, that no one else even knows about or cares about, that's how you develop your self-respect and your self-worth and all that. So once you pair that, you pair your research with the self-respect, that's one aspect of it. It's like, cool, like, I know what I'm talking about, and I feel confident enough to speak up about it and, like, give my opinion. Because I remember, like, even if I had opinions and stuff, it's like I didn't feel worthy of expressing it, you know, because I thought people would look at me weird, you know, for expressing it. So you have to build up some type of balls, if you will. You know what I'm saying? You have to build up your balls. It's like you have to just say shit, you know what I'm saying, and don't care what people think. And I know that's really easier said than done, obviously, but that's what you have to do. Like, you have to just be like, man, this is why I stand by it. And that's why you have to be confident in your research and stuff. You know, you have to have a really firm belief in something, because people will always tear you down. There's 8 billion people out there. Somebody's going to disagree with you. Everybody ain't going to agree with you. So you have to have your shit together. You have to have your stuff together so you can feel confident in what you're saying. And you have to think of counterpoints. I do that all the time. Like, you'll see me mid-video addressing a certain counterpoint that I'm anticipating somebody giving me for the point that I'm making, because I already know that people are going to talk shit. I'm already knowing. If you do that, you have the counterpoints and you have your set in stone beliefs, and then you feel confident enough to say it, that's it right there, you good. And so the next part of going from reactive to proactive is to get stories. And what I mean by this is you have to get experiences and things that you want to talk about. It's great to have the research and all that, but that shouldn't be your only thing. Like, you should have the research plus the experience, and that's when you really have bulletproof conversation. Like, you can say what you want, and you mean it, and you know it's true. You know what I'm saying? Because you've seen it, you've done it. You know what I'm saying? That's where it really comes in. So you have to have your experiences, and you have to have stories. You have to go out and you have to do stuff, get out your house. Like, even me just doing this, like, this is a little story, because I have a story about how I found this place. Because I was doing like DoorDash like years ago, and I rolled up on this place and I delivered it to somebody. I come out here and it's a whole little spot. Like, they got these orange seats. Like, you can see this, like, it's orangely color coded. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, okay, like, this shit nice. All right, bet. And I kind of locked it in. Like, I took a mental note of it. And that only came from me going outside and doing shit. Even though it was DoorDash, but still, you got to get out and you got to do stuff, bro. And that'll give you stories to tell. And then that'll give you experiences to base your research and stuff off of, to pair it with, I should say. To pair your research with, it'll give you experiences for that. Then it's all green. Like, you got the experience, you got the knowledge, and you got the confidence to speak up about it. That's the key, bro. That is literally the key. Because you still might not feel that confident in what you're saying if you don't have the experience to back it up. Because you're mostly just talking from the internet, what you've heard other people say. You know, and that's fine sometimes. But you'd really be better off just getting your own experience with it. And another reason why that experience is so important is because you feel like you can relate to the person, and then you can have a better conversation. And I remember specifically, I used to react to people's conversations my own age, but I mostly did this when it came to people that were older than me. You know, I did this 99% of the time when I was talking to somebody that's older than me. I'm not contributing anything. I'm literally just taking it in and just trying to act like I understand. But the experience, you have to have experience to be able to understand what people are saying. That's a big part of it, because I used to spend a lot of time in my room, basically. Like, I would just play video games and shit all day and just scroll on the internet all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't doing anything. And so I wasn't gaining experiences. And on top of that, I wasn't doing any research. So I wasn't doing any research and I wasn't getting any experience. So that's why my conversations were so reactive, because anybody that's talking to me, they're speaking a foreign language. They're talking about way higher level stuff than I had ever encountered. And so I literally just can't even fathom. I can't even comprehend what they're saying, really. It's really painful to be in that position. It just sucks, like, because you're not making connections. You're just letting them have a whole monologue. You're just letting them speak, and you're not contributing anything. You're just there. You're just a brick wall they're talking to. And that can mess with your self-esteem too. You know what I'm saying? If every time you're in a conversation, you're not contributing shit, you're just listening to other people, it just doesn't do good for your self-esteem, bro, literally. And so that's why you got to get experiences. And so the next part is your presence. This is the next part, because there were times where maybe I had some insightful things to say, or I knew what they were talking about or whatever, but I wasn't comprehending what they were saying because I wasn't present in the conversation. Like, I'm thinking about other shit. And this is such a nuance, like, this is such a important point, because that's what makes the conversation even possible. That's what makes the conversation meaningful, is if both people are present in it. I would be in conversations, bro, like, I'd be talking to people and my mind is just wandering. And also, this is why you need to work on yourself and, like, build experience and stuff, so you can have the confidence to not overthink about yourself. Because that was part of it too. I would just be basically overthinking everything, overanalyzing my whole appearance and how I'm coming across and all that. It was to the point where I wasn't actually paying attention to what they were saying. I'm just overthinking about myself or just whatever's going on, you know. And that's a huge mistake by me. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge mistake. You have to have the confidence to just be present in the conversation. That just comes with working on yourself over time and all the other stuff that I said. But the next key is the presence. You know, it's really important to be able to not think about anything else but this conversation, you know. And that's a hard thing to do. A lot of people aren't present nowadays because of the instant gratification, the high dopamine, you know, that we receive on a daily basis. It's getting harder and harder to be present. And that was part of it too. Like, my dopamine receptors were fried because I'm always scrolling and stuff. And so my dopamine receptors were fried. My overthinking was all over the place. My mind was all over the place. And so these people were just talking to me. They're just explaining, telling stories or whatever. And I'm not even really understanding. I'm not even really listening to what they're saying or comprehending anything. I'm just overthinking about myself until they stop talking. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's crazy. And then they start talking again, and then I just keep going back to wandering. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a conversation. I walk away from a 30-minute conversation having learned nothing about the person, and then when someone asks me about them, I don't have anything to say. I can't remember anything that they said. I would forget people's names like this, and it's so embarrassing. Like I'm talking to a person for 30 minutes, an hour, the next time they see me, hey, what's up, Corey, whatever, and I don't even remember their name because I wasn't paying attention to when I was talking to them. I don't remember anything that they told me. I don't remember any of the stories they had. And so that makes it even worse. Like, not only did I not connect, but the person, they were spilling their heart out to me and I wasn't even listening. I didn't really give a fuck. And so that makes you feel even worse, not only for you, but for them. You know, like, I feel bad that I did that to them. It's just bad all around, bro. It's just all around bad. I hate it. I hated that, bro. I'm so glad that I got out of that. And the key to gaining more presence is, I would say, journaling and stuff. That helps. You know, I'm not like I'm not trying to sell you on journaling or whatever, but it helps, you know, because it keeps you grounded, resets your dopamine receptors, because there's no dopamine in journaling, like, at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no screens or whatever. Like, you're just sitting there writing on a piece of paper. Like, that's as elementary as it gets. So that helps. But also, taking time away from your phone. I'm not gonna say every time you want to get on your phone, go to the gym, because that's not realistic. But if you can, going to the gym does help. Or just busting out some push-ups. Like, sometimes that's all I can do. You know what I'm saying? I'll just bust out some push-ups. Like, that helps me get my mind back. If I'm feeling like too many urges or whatever, like, doing some push-ups will help with that. Going outside, taking in deep breaths, reading books and stuff. Like, just do things that are not fun, that are not, like, exciting. You know, that'll help ground you and help give you more presence, because a conversation isn't necessarily fun. A conversation is fun when you're connecting, but it's not the same fun as scrolling on social media. It doesn't give you the same dopamine necessarily as scrolling on social media does. You have to be more intentional. You have to be more present in the conversation to really understand it, so then you can go back and forth, and that's what will improve the dopamine of it. That's hard to do if you've never done it before. So the keys are really having confidence to speak up, knowing what you're talking about, having experiences and stories to tell, and then having the presence to actually listen to the person and comprehend what they're saying, and then formulate a rebuttal or formulate the next thing that you're going to say and the story that you're going to tell to further the conversation. That actually takes more mindfulness than you think. It's easy to just say, oh, that's crazy. But to actually have a meaningful thing to say back after someone goes on a long spiel, like, that's hard to do. Because I be doing podcasts and stuff, and even in a long conversation, it is hard to do. It's hard to take someone, especially when they talk for a long time, you know, which I'm doing now. But when someone talks for a long time, you have to sit there and you're going to have something that you want to say. But you can't just focus on what you're going to say. You have to fully get all the little points that they're making. And then you have to tie it back to something that you relate to or something that you want to say to contribute to the conversation. That is not easy to do. Here's the hard part. Here's the hard part that you have to just practice. Letting someone finish their entire long monologue and then giving your nuanced take after that. That is a hard thing to do, because I do podcasts and that is hard to do. I'm telling you from experience. Because, you know, in podcasts, it's encouraged for the people to talk and tell stories and stuff. And you want to chime in, but you don't want to be rude and cut them off, because you're going to have something that pops in your mind real quick that you want to say, but you can't cut them off because that's just rude. And so you have to hold that thought and still pay attention to what they're saying, and not only focus solely on the thought that you're thinking and your rebuttal, but to actually fully hear them out. It's easy to put your full focus into what they're saying, and then by the time they're done speaking, you forgot the point that you were even going to make. And so it's hard to keep that point while still listening to the person. And it's also easy to just think about the only thing that you're thinking about, and then completely disregard what the other person's saying, and then as soon as they finish, you start going off on what you said. The problem with that is that you miss the little nuance that they told you. You miss the nuance, you miss certain points or whatever. If you're only thinking about what you're saying, it's not a real dialogue. You're only focused on yourself. It's a lot, bro. It's a lot. The only way that you can get past that stage is just by practice. You just have to practice it, and you have to be very strong in what you were thinking. You have to really, really concentrate on both. It's hard to do. It's really hard to do, honestly. It's hard to give a full practical advice on how exactly to do it. I guess I would recommend, think about certain bullet points that you want to talk about, like certain things that you wanted to go back to, certain little points that they made that you want to circle back to. Don't think about the entire spiel that you're going to give, but just think about little bullet points, little facts that they had said that you want to go back and circle back to when it's your turn to talk. Keep those little bullet points in your mind and then listen to them. Don't think about your entire spiel, because that takes up too much brain power and brain matter. You're not going to be able to listen to them fully. So, yeah. I know that was a long video, but there's a lot that goes into this. And here's another tip. Like, you can start a YouTube channel. That's helped me, honestly, because I've told these stories before. I've told stories and I've made points before on the channel and stuff, and so when I'm in a real conversation, I can basically just say the shit that I've said on the channel, you know what I'm saying? So that's like a little cheat code, you know, because I'm used to talking. So I'm not afraid to talk anymore. So that's another cheat code. Anyway, those are my advice to go from reactive to proactive conversations. If you enjoyed, if you got some value from that, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later, man. Peace.